is what if the China and India sub bases? First thing China would probably do was attack like these countries like here. So the first country they'll invade is Bhutan. Because it's the weakest among all of them, and they're not, they top scenario, they get weak. But they still, they don't have the most people in the world, like the second most. So now they'll thought to take stuff to like, hey, get now they're starting to fade into Bangladesh. Like the top parts of a few years, but then from that, Pakistan would get mad. Not even able to allies. And even not taking it thing. Try wiggle. Pakistan would I don't know. Pakistan would attack China. English. And it doesn't even respect it. And so they almost completely dead. And they're still never give up. And they started to attack back. Pakistan. And China has gone crazy because it's for land. And they will attack Myanmar. Let's take a big chunk. And stretches from Pakistan to meet the tip of Pakistan to the tip of Myanmar. That's how long they are right now. It's pretty long, bro. Cause like, but the first thing India would do would Russia. You know how like Russia and the United States and India are allies, but Russia, Russia and India are allies, and Russia and the United States and China and India are allies, but the Russia and the United States are enemies. Russia joins NATO because of like how's that happening and stuff. Because actually something to do with Americans would attack South Korea. The Americans comes from over here and they would take out this part, South Korea, South Koreans and Japanese people. They would, all the soldiers was this part, well, and Russian soldiers would hit over. And they would take over Mongolia. Mongolia was kind of weak, so they would take the land pretty easily. They would just split the land in half, right down the middle, but take it over. Then they'll take, just take all this. Then you take. They get oofed. So next in China doing this territory would probably be trying to attack Afghanistan. Betray the Chinese. Attack. No, take all the take all the Taiwan is like tough luck. I almost forgot about it. They would just go for it. Take out the island. That's all they want to say. They just say go home. Now they start with Pakistan to needs tip still, but with some more islands. Chinese would possibly try to take Thailand, but it's still down here on the coast. Then they'll move up the tail to the mainland and they start to attack. So they'll like, yeah. So Thailand can keep losing because how bad China. They would start to cut the country in half, and then could take a half. And the coastline, they don't really have a coastline anymore. No coastline anymore, and they yeah. So finally, China takes Kashmir now. Kashmir. And the rest of Tajikistan. And you know what happened in Africa? A big break in Western Sahara sinks under the sea. Western Sahara sinks under the sea. In real life, this is and what's the Morocco go? Vietnam. It's the end of Vietnam. They would all fight. First thing, start the Taiwan. So it's okay. I don't know what I'm talking about. Taiwan again would start to invade straight into the long coast over here. And Indians start to take, and soon China completely falls under control of India. Here's so they took like Taiwan took like all the land right here. I don't know how long it's been, but they split the China's old land here. Taiwan took that portion. Taiwan took that portion, and India took a lot of portions. And it's under control of Taiwan, and India. Video over. Yeah, boom.